Hey Capricorn, welcome back. I know this is the question that probably keeps some of you up at night, wondering if that person who walked away or that person you walked away from is sitting somewhere filled with regret, or if they have moved on and are genuinely thriving without you. Today I am pulling cards specifically on this energy, and I have to tell you, what came through is incredibly layered and honestly pretty surprising. So let me just dive right in, because the cards have a lot to say about where your ex actually is right now. The first card that came out is the Six of Cups, and this immediately tells me that your ex is absolutely swimming in nostalgia right now. This is not someone who has completely moved on and forgotten about what you two shared. The Six of Cups is all about memories, looking back at the past with rose-colored glasses, and there is this sense of longing for what once was. Your ex is definitely thinking about you, Capricorn. They are remembering the good times, the moments that made them feel safe and happy, and there is this childlike innocence to how they are viewing your connection now. It is almost like they have conveniently forgotten all the difficult parts and are only holding on to the beautiful memories. What is interesting here is that the Six of Cups does not necessarily mean they are taking action or that they are ready to reach out, but it does show that emotionally they are very much still attached to what you two had. They might be scrolling through old photos, revisiting places you used to go together, or even dreaming about you. There is this bittersweet quality to their energy right now, where they are caught between wanting to go back and knowing that time has passed. For some of you, this person might even be talking to friends or family about you, reminiscing about the relationship and what made it special. The Six of Cups also suggests that your ex sees you as someone who brought genuine joy and authenticity into their life, and that is something they are realizing they cannot easily replace. So yes, there is definitely an element of regret here, but it is a soft regret, a wistful kind of missing, rather than a desperate panic. Now the second card is the King of Pentacles, and this shifts the energy quite a bit, because this card is telling me that regardless of how they feel emotionally, your ex is very much focused on building stability and success in their material world right now. The King of Pentacles represents someone who is grounded, practical, and committed to creating security, whether that is financial security, career advancement, or just establishing a solid foundation for their future. So while they might be nostalgic about you, they are also very much in a mode of working on themselves and their external circumstances. For some of you, this could mean your ex is pouring themselves into their career, making more money, investing in property, or just really focusing on leveling up their lifestyle. They might be appearing very put together on the outside, like they have it all figured out, but that does not necessarily mean they are emotionally fulfilled. The King of Pentacles can sometimes indicate someone who is using material success as a way to avoid dealing with deeper feelings. They might be thinking that if they just achieve enough, earn enough, or acquire enough, they will feel whole again. But the truth is that no amount of external success can fill the void left by a meaningful connection. What I find interesting here is that this card suggests your ex is not falling apart without you. They are actually doing quite well in practical terms, but that does not mean they are not struggling internally. They could be lying in bed at night in their nice apartment or house, financially comfortable, and still feeling like something is missing. The King of Pentacles is stable and secure, but he is not necessarily happy or emotionally satisfied. The third card that came through is the Two of Pentacles, and this really emphasizes that your ex is juggling a lot right now and honestly feeling pretty overwhelmed by it all. The Two of Pentacles is about trying to balance multiple responsibilities, multiple priorities, and it often comes up when someone is stretched thin and not quite managing everything as smoothly as they would like. Your ex might be dealing with work demands, personal obligations, maybe even new relationships or situationships, and they are finding it hard to keep all the balls in the air. What this tells me is that even though they might look stable on the outside with that King of Pentacles energy, internally they are struggling to find balance and peace. They might be overcommitting themselves, saying yes to too many things, or just trying to distract themselves from their feelings by staying constantly busy. The Two of Pentacles can also indicate indecision, so your ex might be going back and forth about you, one day thinking they made the right choice to move on, and the next day wondering if they made a huge mistake. They are not settled in their feelings, and that internal conflict is creating stress in their life. For some of you, this could manifest as your ex reaching out and then pulling back, testing the waters, but not fully committing to anything because they are scared of making another wrong choice. The energy here is chaotic and unstable emotionally, even if externally they are trying to maintain composure. Now we get to the King of Swords, and this card is showing me that your ex is also in their head a lot right now, overanalyzing everything about the relationship and trying to make logical sense of what happened. The King of Swords is all about clarity, truth, and intellectual understanding. So your ex is likely replaying conversations, dissecting decisions, and trying to figure out where things went wrong or why things ended the way they did. They might be journaling about it, talking to a therapist, or just spending a lot of time thinking deeply about the dynamics between you two. What is important here is that the King of Swords can sometimes be detached emotionally because he prioritizes logic over feelings. So your ex might be trying to rationalize their emotions away rather than actually feeling them. They could be telling themselves things like it was not meant to be, or we were not compatible in the long run, using logic to convince themselves that moving on was the right choice, even if their heart is saying something different. The King of Swords also suggests that your ex values honesty and integrity. So if there were lies or miscommunications in the relationship, they are probably reflecting on that now and recognizing their own role in what went wrong. This is someone who is trying to learn from the experience and grow, but they are doing it in a very cerebral way. For some of you, if your ex does reach out, it might be a very mature and thoughtful conversation where they express what they have learned and apologize for their mistakes, but they might still keep an emotional distance because they are scared of getting hurt again. The fifth card is the Ace of Wands, and this is where things get really interesting because this card is all about new beginnings, passion, and creative energy. Your ex is feeling inspired about something new in their life right now. This could be a new project, a new goal, a new passion, or yes, even a new romantic interest. The Ace of Wands is fiery and exciting, and it suggests that your ex is channeling their energy into something that makes them feel alive again. For some of you, this might sting a little because it could indicate that they are genuinely excited about moving forward and exploring new possibilities. However, the Ace of Wands is just the spark. It is not the fully developed fire yet. So whatever they are pursuing right now is still in its early stages and might not have staying power. They might be feeling optimistic and hopeful about the future, but that does not mean they have fully healed from your connection or that they have truly moved on emotionally. The Ace of Wands can also represent sexual energy and physical attraction. So if your ex is seeing someone new, there might be chemistry there. But it is important to remember that chemistry and deep compatibility are not the same thing. This new energy in their life might be fun and exciting, but it might not have the depth and substance that your connection had. The Ace of Wands is about potential and possibility, not guaranteed success. Now the sixth card is the Five of Swords, and this brings in a much heavier energy because the Five of Swords is about conflict, defeat, and the aftermath of a battle. This card is telling me that your ex is carrying some guilt and regret about how things ended between you two. They might have said things they did not mean, acted in ways they are not proud of, or just handled the breakup in a way that now makes them feel ashamed. The Five of Swords often shows up when someone has won the argument but lost the relationship, and they are realizing that their pride or ego cost them something valuable. Your ex might be replaying the fights you had, the hurtful words that were exchanged, and wishing they had handled things differently. There is a sense of emptiness here, like they achieved what they thought they wanted, maybe freedom or independence or the last word, but now they are looking around and realizing it was not worth it. The Five of Swords can also indicate that your ex is dealing with their own internal battles right now, struggling with self-esteem issues, or feeling defeated by life in general. They might be comparing themselves to others, feeling like they are not measuring up, and that insecurity is eating away at them. For some of you, this card suggests that your ex knows they messed up, and they are dealing with the consequences of their actions, but they might be too proud or too scared to admit it and reach out to make amends. The seventh card is Justice, and this is a powerful card because it is all about karma, fairness, and truth coming to light. Justice is telling me that your ex is starting to see the situation more clearly now, and they are recognizing that there were imbalances in the relationship or that they were not treating you fairly. This card often comes up when someone is being forced to take accountability for their actions and face the consequences of their choices. Your ex might be experiencing some karmic lessons right now, where life is showing them what it feels like to be on the receiving end of the same treatment they gave you. If they were dishonest, they might be dealing with dishonesty from others. If they were emotionally unavailable, they might be pursuing someone who is now emotionally unavailable to them. Justice is about balance and equilibrium, so the universe is working to restore fairness in the situation. What this tells me is that your ex cannot escape the truth of what happened, and they are being held accountable whether they like it or not. For some of you, this could manifest as your ex finally admitting to themselves and others what really went down and owning their part in the breakdown of the relationship. Justice also suggests that whatever is meant to happen will happen. And if you two are meant to reconnect, it will be on fair and honest terms, not built on manipulation or half-truths. The eighth card is the Two of Cups, and this is honestly one of the most significant cards in the entire deck when it comes to relationships because it represents true partnership, mutual love, and emotional connection. The fact that this card showed up tells me that your ex still feels a deep soul-level connection to you, Capricorn. The Two of Cups is not about surface-level attraction or casual feelings. It is about genuine love and the recognition of a partner who truly sees you and values you. Your ex remembers the moments when you two were in sync, when you understood each other without words, and when the relationship felt effortless and right. They know that what you had was special, and that is something they are struggling to find with anyone else. The Two of Cups also suggests that your ex might be idealizing the relationship now, seeing it through a lens of what it could have been rather than what it actually was, and that is making them feel even more regretful about how things ended. For some of you, this card indicates that your ex genuinely wants to reconnect and try again, but they are scared of rejection or scared that too much time has passed. The Two of Cups is a card of reconciliation and partnership. So if you are open to it, and if both people are willing to do the work, there is potential here for a renewed connection built on a stronger foundation. The ninth card is the Four of Wands, and this card brings in energy of celebration, stability, and happiness. The Four of Wands often represents a milestone, a sense of accomplishment, or a period of joy and contentment. What is interesting here is that this card could be indicating two different things depending on your specific situation. For some of you, the Four of Wands suggests that your ex is genuinely happy right now, maybe celebrating something in their life, whether that is a new job, a new home, a new relationship, or just a general sense of having reached a good place. They might be surrounded by friends and family, feeling supported and loved, and genuinely enjoying this chapter of their life. However, the Four of Wands can also represent what your ex wishes they had with you, a stable and joyful partnership where you could celebrate life together. They might be attending weddings or seeing other couples who are happy and committed, and it is making them think about what they lost with you. The Four of Wands is about building something solid and lasting, and your ex might be realizing that they gave up on something that had real potential to become that kind of stable and beautiful partnership. This card suggests that whether they are happy now or not, they recognize that true fulfillment comes from having someone to share life with, and they are questioning whether they will find that again. The 10th and final card is the Ten of Wands, and this card really brings everything full circle because it shows that your ex is absolutely burdened right now, carrying a heavy load of responsibilities, regrets, and emotional weight. The Ten of Wands is one of the most exhausting cards in the deck, representing someone who has taken on too much and is struggling under the pressure of it all. Your ex might be overworked, overwhelmed, and feeling like they cannot catch a break. They might be dealing with stress from multiple areas of their life, work, family, finances, relationships, and it is all piling up on them. What this tells me is that even if they are achieving things or looking successful on the outside, they are not happy or at peace internally. The Ten of Wands also suggests that your ex is carrying guilt and regret about the relationship, and it is weighing them down more than they care to admit. They might be thinking about you late at night when they are alone and exhausted, wondering if things could have been different, wondering if they made the right choice. The Ten of Wands is a card of burden and struggle, so your ex is definitely not thriving in the way that someone who has genuinely moved on and healed would be. They are functioning, they are surviving, but they are not truly living freely and joyfully. For some of you, this card suggests that your ex is one more stressful event or one more disappointment away from reaching out because they are realizing they cannot do this alone anymore, and they miss the support and partnership you provided. So Capricorn, to answer the original question, is your ex filled with regret, or are they thriving? The truth is it is a bit of both, but leaning much more heavily toward regret and struggle than genuine thriving. Yes, they might be doing okay in practical terms with their career and finances, and yes, they might be exploring new interests or new connections, but emotionally and spiritually, they are carrying a lot of weight. They are nostalgic about you. They are recognizing what they lost, they are dealing with karmic lessons, and they are realizing that moving on is not as easy or as fulfilling as they thought it would be. The cards are showing someone who is trying to convince themselves and others that they are fine, but underneath the surface, they are struggling with regret, guilt, and the realization that what you two had was rare and valuable. Whether they will act on these feelings and reach out is another question entirely. Because right now, they seem caught between pride and longing, between moving forward and looking back. What I can tell you is that you are definitely on their mind and in their heart, and the impact you had on their life is not something they can just erase or forget. Trust that the universe is working things out fairly, and whatever is meant to be will unfold in divine timing. Take care of yourself, focus on your own healing and growth, and know that you deserve someone who shows up fully and consistently, not someone who only realizes your value after you are gone.